a moment. Tom?
I am Tom.
So am I. Okay, let's
Ferry Friday, yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tom, and this is Tom. And here on Ferry Friday, we talk takeaways.
Yep. Talking takeaways from the Tom Ferry Summit that we attended last week in Dallas.
Did you enjoy it? Yes or yes?
I absolutely had a great time. What about you?
Magnificent time. Networking, learning, growing.
Yeah, absolutely. Growth was a huge part of it. And networking, I didn't realize you could do so much and how much it helped our business.
Right. What would your biggest takeaways be?
My biggest takeaway is setting a goal and then setting the steps to make those goals and just executing. Whether it's making videos for social as like one small piece of that puzzle, or networking more, or making sure you're reaching out to your past clients or your sphere. All those pieces go into putting the goal together.
Putting the goal together.
Yeah.
Right. So another big thing. So we talked a little bit about networking. We've got to connect with agents around. We learned about how big social media can really go into that. What's an example of something that you experienced during Summit, connecting with other agents?
Yeah, so I've always been kind of anti-social media. I've never been good at it. I thought it was weird, constantly living behind your phone and not being in the moment, but I never looked at it through the lens of like, it's a tool, and it can help me get closer to things that I want. And I guess ultimately it comes down to setting up what that want is, and I want to be successful. Do you want to be successful? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Right, so step one is set a goal. So my goal for this year, in my first year of real estate, was to sell 16 homes. And after coming back from Summit, I realized could have been a little bit more ambitious, but I didn't know how to execute. And I learned a lot this year, especially going to Summit. With that, I learned a lot of meeting with people and just being my authentic self. And I think that was my biggest hindrance with social media in general, was just I felt like I had to put on a persona that wasn't me. Granted. What was your takeaway, Tom?
Well, Tom, takeaways are grand. They're great. There's lots of takeaways. One large one definitely being social media, not only because you're able to connect with other agents that are out there and, build that referral partner basis. Because if I have a client here who's moving to LA, I want to have somebody to send them to that I know and trust. But also the social media aspect of being like, hey, here's who I am. Do you want to work with me? Really bringing in the people that I probably would want to work with anyway, and kind of weeding out those that maybe I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think everybody in real estate has a story or an experience about someone they worked with that probably didn't really want to. And this is a good way to find those people that you do. So I agree about that.
Definitely. Another big takeaway for me was coming up with a wealth plan to move forward. And, really setting myself up with really high goals because, as I said multiple times as Tom, that if you don't set your goals really high, what are you doing? If you set your goals really high and you fail miserably, it's still significantly better than what I would have done if, like your goal of only selling 16 homes.
Right.
I think you're going to surpass that.
Thanks, Tom. I do too. And you know what else we say a lot, Tom?
Tell me.
If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist.
It does not
Put
exist.
it in your calendar or else it'll never happen. That's one thing that I've been working on all this week, is setting up my calendar for the rest of Q4, setting those goals and working backwards, setting them down to, I have to make X amount of calls per year, which turns into Y amount of calls per month, which turns into Z amount of calls per week, making sure I get those done so that I can reach my goals.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I'm all in. I'm committed.
Are you interested in your goals? Or are you committed in your goals?
I'm committed.
Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes.
So, with these new goals and having that calendar too, I've started kind of maybe putting too much into my calendar, but I don't think that's possible, because if it's not in your calendar, it does
doesn't
not
exist. I don't think, putting too many things in your calendar is a problem because you really realize how much you can actually maximize your time.
Right.
I'll look at it and I'll look back, a month or two ago and I'll see, how much I didn't actually put in a calendar.
Right.
And how much time I actually wasted.
If I've got too much empty space, then what am I doing with it?
Exactly. It's like if you buy a big bag and you go travel, you're going to fill that big bag with a bunch of unnecessary stuff. But if you pack with a purpose, you'll get exactly what you need when you get to where you're going.
You don't get to your destination and realize you don't have the essentials.
Right. And what are those essentials? Depends on where you're going. Depends on your plan. You got to have a plan. Set your goals, figure out your why, execute.
Put it in your calendar.
So, I'll leave you with one last thing. Tom?
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
To take your business to the next step.
I'm ready to take my business to the next step.
Yes or yes, are you ready to take your business to the next step?
Yes. Are you ready to take your business, Tom, to the next level?
Tom, not only am I ready to take it to the next level, but I'm fired up. Yes or yes?
Oh, I'm pumped. I'm fired up.
Pump up the jam. Let's go.
I'm Tom.
And I'm also Tom.
This was Takeaways on Ferry Friday.
Ferry Friday takeaways from Tom Ferry Summit 2021.
Bye. I think that's fine.
Sure. Probably good.